Welcome to the Explainer. So, what if I told you that the key to thriving in this age of AI isn't about becoming more like a machine, but actually becoming more uniquely human? Today, we're going to break down how you can future-proof your skills by mastering a totally different kind of intelligence. Okay, let's dive in.
This question, right here, it really gets to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? When an AI can spit out the what, the facts, the summaries, the basic answers, our focus has to shift. It has to move to the why and the how. This isn't about giving up on learning. It's about leveling up. It really forces us to stop and think about what skills are actually valuable now.
So, before we can get to the solution, we really have to get our heads around the new reality. See, AI hasn't just joined the game, it has completely rewritten the rulebook. That old educational playbook, the one that was all about memorizing facts and just repeating procedures, well, it's dangerously out of date now.
Just think for a second about what AI does so well, so effortlessly. It's a powerhouse at retrieving facts, summarizing articles, cranking out a decent paragraph, and solving those routine by-the-book problems. So if our education system keeps focusing only on these skills, we're not preparing students for the future. We're actually preparing them to be outcompeted by an algorithm. We are, quite literally, training them for redundancy.
Okay, so where do we go from here? If we can't beat the machines at their own game, well, we need to play a different one. And the answer lies in developing this incredibly powerful and uniquely human capability: higher-order thinking. And trust me, this isn't just another buzzword. It's our strategic advantage.
At its core, this is what it's all about. It's not about giving students harder work, not at all. It's about giving them work that requires deeper thinking. It's that process of taking raw information, facts, data, whatever, and turning it into something meaningful, something like a new insight, a solid judgment, or a totally new idea.
And what's so interesting here is how clearly this slide shows the contrast between the old way and the new way. On the left, you've got those passive tasks, right? Recalling, repeating, stuff you just pull from memory. But on the right, you have the active, dynamic stuff that really defines higher-order thinking. Making sense of things, judging their quality, and creating something brand new. That is the shift we have to make.
So, here's the bottom line. AI pretty much lives in that left-hand column. It can recall, it can repeat, it can follow steps like nobody's business. But that right-hand column, that's our territory. That is the kind of thinking that AI just can't replicate, and it's where our real value is going to be from now on.
So how do we actually build up this human advantage? I mean, it's not some kind of abstract magic, right? We can actually break it down into 5 core teachable skills. Think of this as your personal toolkit for building a more powerful mind.
All right, here's that toolkit in action. First up, you've got analysis. That's like being a detective, breaking down the case to see what's really going on. Then comes evaluation, where you're the judge, weighing all the evidence. Synthesis is that creative spark, connecting ideas that seem unrelated to make something totally new. Application is about taking all that knowledge off the page and using it in the real world. And then there's the secret sauce, metacognition. That's like being your own thinking coach, always watching yourself and figuring out how to improve your mental game.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? How do we get from just remembering stuff to actually reasoning things out, whether it's in a classroom or just in our own heads? Well, it often comes down to small but really powerful shifts in the kinds of questions we ask.
Take a look at this. The first question is a simple memory test. An AI could nail that in a nanosecond. But the second question? Oh, that changes everything. It forces the learner to use AI as a tool and then apply their own brain power to critique what it made. All of a sudden, they're not just grabbing facts, they're actually engaging in some serious critical analysis.
Here's another fantastic example. Asking someone to explain this concept often just gets you a memorized definition. But asking them to compare 2 different explanations and then, this is the key part, justify their choice, that just elevates the whole task immediately. It requires evaluation, judgment, and clear reasoning, all the hallmarks of that higher-order thinking we're talking about. So why does mastering all of this matter so much? Because in this new world we're in, the answer itself is becoming cheap. It's a commodity. The real value, the real magic, is in the thinking that happens above the answer. And the long-term payoff here is huge. This is not just about getting better grades. This is about becoming a more curious, more confident thinker. It's about learning how to question everything, including the information an AI gives you. And ultimately, it's about making better decisions in your life and developing an understanding of the world that really truly lasts. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the core idea of this whole explainer. Having access to all the knowledge in the universe doesn't mean a thing if you don't know what to do with it. It's the application, the critique, and the creation that's what really counts.
And this is the thought I really want to leave you with. AI has given us a world that is just overflowing with answers. So our most important job now is to become masters of the question. To think critically, to think creatively, and to think deeply. That right there is the skill that will define our future.